Welcome, 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 everyone, one and all. I am Leroy Truth Investigations. This is a banger of a show today. And Scalzo, can you confirm sound's working? And also, excuse me, if you can hear me, you can hear the sound of my voice, please put a 1 in the chat. If there is no echo, everything is good, please put a 1 in the chat. All right. And hi, chat. Okay, 1-1. Excellent, excellent. All right, welcome, Leroy Truth Investigations. As people are joining us, I am going to put a song on that this wonderful man ordered them. It's a channel, a YouTube channel, ordered them. He recorded a Leroy Truth Investigations rap. And as people are joining us, I want you to listen to this, and I want to thank Ordered Them so much for doing this. And it's about 2 minutes long, and after this, we will get rolling. But in the meantime, oh, no echo tonight. I 7 cities, we figured it out. And hello, Nick and Ali Bell, 7 cities, American Nomad, It's My Life, Connie, Snow Rules, NW Press 2, Kenneth Wood, George Daly, NZ Kiwi, Douglas, Fox, Corvette Girl. And wake the neighbors, wake the pets, get more people on here. This is going to be a banger of a show today. So as people are joining us, listen to this song that Ordered Them sent me. And he did an awesome job. And if you can put a 1 in the chat, if you can hear it once it starts. And here it is here.
In a world of shadows, where the darkness abounds, there's a voice that emerges, breaking through the sound. Leroy Truth, he stands too tall with a camera in his hand, documenting truth for justice to demand. Leroy the Truth, a beacon in the night, fighting for the justice, shining in the light through his lenses. The stories unfold. A YouTube channel with a mission twofold. With courage in his heart, he steps to the fray to protect our rights. He won't turn away when police cross the line. He's there to expose unlawful tactics. Leroy the Truth, a beacon in the night, fighting for the justice, shining in the light through his lenses. The stories unfold. A YouTube channel with a mission twofold. He's the voice of the silence, the defender of the weak. Leroy Truth, he won't back down, he won't retreat. His videos resonate across the nationwide, awakening the conscience, churning the tide, coast to coast. His impact takes hold, bravery confronting the stories untold. He stands for the people, the rights he defends. In the face of opposition, he won't never bend. Leroy the Truth, a beacon in the night, fighting for the justice, shining in the light through his lenses. The stories unfold. A YouTube channel with a mission twofold. Leroy Truth, the voice we all need, united in the nation and planted in the seed. With each video shared, he sparks in the flame, changing the course of history in the name of truth.
And that was from Ordered Them. And give him some love. Definitely check out his channel, subscribe to his channel. And he's awesome. I really appreciate you taking the time to do that. And welcome, everybody, to tonight's show episode about the origin of Cold Spring, New York, and new updates. You know what newspapers are supposed to be, right? They're supposed to be naturally antagonistic toward any government. I don't care if they're Republican, Democrat, whoever it is. The reason the press is supposed to be antagonistic, and I don't mean that in a way that you're harassing them. I don't mean that in those terms, but always looking to find fault, to see where they're taking away rights, where they're not respecting we the people. And thank you, John Danicola, so much for your moderation. And also want to thank Scalzo Photo for his production, as he's the producer of the show, and he's going to be sharing as well a number of things about Cold Spring, and he's got some assets, some photographs he's going to share, and so much is going to become clear today. Now, I was attacked by 2 local newspapers, the 2 local rags, and these local rags, I'm going to read you the articles today. And by the way, we're going to do a call-in show second half today, so stay tuned for that. First half is going to be I'll be sharing some new developments with the Cold Spring saga. And so stay tuned. I will open up the lines later, but we're not taking calls now, but that will be the number. Now, again, the media is supposed to always be looking to hold the government accountable. However, the Highlands Current, which is located in Cold Spring, New York, rag of a newspaper, which you will see why, and the Putnam County Register, the other rag of a newspaper, bigger readership there. They literally could be the newspaper of China or Russia or Iraq or Iran. It's insane. They did 2 hit pieces on me. Now, when you write about someone, as a journalist, what's that? Oh, it's called the Putnam County News and Recorder. Thank you for that correction, Scalzo. And why they're hit pieces is when you do a piece where I was the subject of both of them, you're supposed to, in journalistic integrity, interview the subject. They didn't bother to do that. They took the words of Mayor Finger-Waggin' Foley. I'm talking now. I'm talking now. It's my turn. It's my turn. That's Mayor Finger-Waggin' Foley. And if you haven't known about the story yet, I have lots of videos. Check out my YouTube channel for that. And they did not ask me anything about the truth. So what Mayor Foley has done is she, instead of ever receiving the information that I have shared with her and the board and investigated, she deflected it, ignored it, hasn't denied or acknowledged it, and attempted to turn it around on me that I'm this bad guy. And you're going to see what these 2 newspapers wrote about me. And it's crazy. And Scalzo did a whole analysis of this too. And make sure to join Scalzo Photo on YouTube as well. Subscribe to his channel. And also smash the like button. If you haven't smashed it yet, smash it, smash it, smash it. With all that anger, all that rage you have against the injustice that goes on here. Because every like is going to help this broadcast to get out bigger and bigger. And I got people calling in here. I got to put my phone on mute here. Don't call in yet. And Vinny, you're calling in. Don't call in yet. And so I'm going to go to the origin. Where did this all start? It started with, I was double parked on a lonely one-way road in the village of Cold Spring, New York. And I suddenly have this aggressive police officer that comes right next to me on my car and is screaming and yelling and calling me names like, "Oh, you a freaking idiot." Venom is coming from him. And he could have given me a ticket for being double parked. I admit to the whole world, I was a double parked man on a lonely one-way road, not blocking any traffic because it was a very, very wide road. And in fact, he was blocking traffic because he was next to me in the next lane. So he starts yelling and screaming at me unprofessionally. And you don't do that to Leroy Truth. And I gave it back to him and letting him know that that was not acceptable for him to be talking with me like that. Because he didn't like how I talked to him back, receiving what he gave me a false ticket, a moving violation of improper use of a cell phone. And for all these village idiots in the village of Cold Spring, they're not all village idiots. I'm addressing the actual village idiots. Some number of the people, many are good people. But the village idiots who say, stop crying about your ticket. You got a ticket, pay for it, just be done with it. I got an unlawful ticket. Now, Officer Kenneth Baker, ex-NYPD brutal police officer, could have given me a ticket, rightfully so. Would have been dumb, but for double parking. But he didn't do that. Instead, he made up charges. I then have to go to court and face false charges from a false ticket. I then made a complaint to the mayor. I'm going to show you that complaint. I did all the steps in the process, but she somehow managed to make this about me when I gave a complaint, a legitimate, important complaint about Officer Kenneth Baker. I'm going to read this to you. So this is going back to the origin. I talked with her on the phone initially, and she played like she really cared. Like, yes, Leroy, I take this very seriously, what you're telling me. Now, I didn't know that she had received numerous complaints, just like mine. But she said, I take this very seriously, and I'm going to, I'm going to check into it, but please, can you email me so I have something to work with? And I said, absolutely, Mayor Foley. And I sent her this email. So here's the beginning of the saga. And you're going to see who's wrong here. Me for being basically the whistleblower for bringing a complaint about an unlawful and wrong charge. I mean, a false charge that I was given. And that's criminal. That's a criminal act under deprivation of rights under color of law by Officer Kenneth Baker. So here, I'm going to share my screen here, make sure, Scales, that we all see it. And again, thanks for joining me, everybody. In the second half, we'll be calling. Okay, sharing screen here. And let's see. I want to make sure I got the right one here. Let's see. I'm not sure if that's the right one. I'm just going to share entire screen here, Scales, but I can't tell. All right, is it sharing? And let me know. There's a little bit of a delay here.
Not sharing yet.
Sharing yet or no? Let's see if something's wrong. And bear with us. Oh, here we go. That's why. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Now, is it sharing? All right. So this is the day after. You can see me as well, Scalzo?
Yes.
This is the day after I talked with Mayor Kathleen Foley. I spoke with her on August 16th, 2023. And she said, please email me something with details. Not only did I give her details, I gave her everything she needed so she can look into it immediately. Here's what I wrote. To Mayor and the Village of Cold Spring Board of Trustees, my name is so-and-so. I write to share a deeply disturbing incident involving two officers from the Village of Cold Spring Police Department. Officer Kenneth Baker, ex-NYPD with badge number 5651. And please put that, moderators, anyone, spam the chat with that. Find the 50-8.org and put the link to 50-8.org in the chat. So you all can go there. I had no grudge against this guy, but he retaliated against me. I am holding him accountable. And the mayor is in corruption mode. She is covering up profoundly for this egregiously criminal-like behavior cop. Ex-NYPD, major police brutality details in court settlements. Over $300,000 of court settlements. And why he's not in prison is beyond me. Oh, I know why. Because he is a police union, and we don't. Now, as I continued writing, a few months ago, while driving through the scenic village near the Hudson House in Cold Spring, New York, I pulled over to take an important call. I stopped my car, put it into park, and the engine was immediately shut off. My vehicle, the 2019 BMW 330xi, has an automatic shutoff when stationary or when my car is put into park. The engine was off. I am not operating a motor vehicle. As I was double parked, you see, I admit to what I actually did in writing. I'm not arguing that I was double parked. I was, but he didn't give me a ticket for being double parked. He gave me a moving violation ticket for improper use of a cell phone. 5 points, I think almost $300 fine. That would have jacked up my insurance thousands of dollars. And it was criminal what he did. You can't do that. It's unlawful. As I was double parked, not using my phone in any unlawful manner, Officer Kenneth Baker approached my vehicle and didn't just approach it. Actually, it was a lot more egregious than that. But rather than inform me that I was improperly parked, he got very aggressive and issued a ticket for improper use of a cell phone device, which is factually inaccurate and inappropriate considering my actions. Subsequent court visits brought further aggressive escalation by both Officer Kenneth Baker and Officer in Charge Larry Burke. I'm going to call him Officer Not in Charge Larry Burke because he lets Officer Baker run all over him. Now, on my second court appearance, Officer Baker attempted to intimidate me into a plea deal. When I refused, citing my innocence, his demeanor turned aggressive, highly aggressive, and we were in a private office with the door closed that he insisted on having the door closed. He insisted on me going in there. He started yelling at me and told me that if I didn't take the plea deal and to do this in a very aggressive, venomous manner, that he would educate me in front of the judge and told me I didn't know the law and that he knows the law because he's a police officer. I told him, yes, let's go in front of the judge. I wanted to present my case that I was completely innocent of the false charge. Officer Kenneth Baker continued to speak to me aggressively in an attempt to intimidate me into a plea bargain, which I refused. He wanted me to take some ignoring a traffic device. If anyone said, hey, would you plead guilty to double parking? I would have said, yes, I did it. Guilty as charged. But he didn't do that. He still was trying to insist upon giving me a moving violation that still had points. And I would not do that. I would plead guilty to what I did, not to what I didn't, that he made up in retaliation. After several minutes of Kenneth Baker's continued aggressive attempts of getting me to plea bargain my ticket for my safety, because he was getting out of control, I decided to leave Officer Kenneth Baker's little private office there. After enduring the barrage of anger rained upon me by known brutal ex-NYPD police officer Kenneth Baker, badge number 5651, as I was leaving his office, I turned around, faced him, and called him a jackass, which was an incredibly mild way to describe how he had been acting towards me, which infuriated him even more. It infuriated Officer Kenneth Baker so much that he had officer in charge, Larry Burke, unlawfully and illegally removed me under color of law deprivation of rights from the judge's courtroom while it was in session, while I was seated in the judge's court, on the threat of being handcuffed and arrested if I didn't leave. That's Officer Larry Burke. These actions were so egregiously, not just unprofessional, but incredibly wrong and unlawful and corrupt. I was unlawfully removed from the courtroom by Officer Burke under the false pretext. This is what Officer Larry Burke said to me, that I was disturbing the court, when I was literally sitting in the courtroom waiting to speak with the judge while court was in session. Officer Larry Burke aggressively came into the judge's courtroom while it was in session, as I was seated silently in a chair waiting for my turn to speak with the judge. Officer in charge Larry Burke then aggressively demanded I immediately leave the courtroom. This made absolutely no sense to me. Why would a police officer come into an active court session and try to remove me when I had committed no crime? I found out the truth later is because he was operating under deprivation of rights, color of law, because Officer Kenneth Baker's ego was bruised. And you don't do that to an NYPD police officer, and you sure as hell don't do that to an ex-NY police officer. I told Officer Burke, no, I would not leave the courtroom. And remember, this is an email that I sent to Mayor Foley, the first email. Since I was waiting to be seen by the judge, and the officer had no authority to remove me from the courtroom. Officer Larry Burke then said if I didn't leave the courtroom voluntarily, that he would make me leave by putting me in handcuffs. I asked him what crime was he accusing me of to remove me from the judge's courtroom while I was waiting to see the judge about the traffic citation. Larry Burke blatantly lied and said I needed to leave because I was disturbing the court. That was a complete and utter lie, as the judge was a witness to the fact that I was literally sitting in the courtroom silently, waiting my turn to be seen by him while other defendants were being seen by the judge. And so it continues here. And I gave her all the information. And the judge said he wouldn't protect me from the cop. When I said, Your Honor, this police officer is trying to get me out of this building. I mean, out of your courtroom, and claiming and lying I'm disturbing the court. You know what the judge, that piece of crap, Officer Thomas J. Costello, said? He said sheepishly, I think you should do what the officer asks you to do. He wasn't going to protect me. I mean, it's insane. No justice in this little, tiny little corrupt place. And so I gave her so many details here. I gave her everything she needed. I had continued to write that Officer Kenneth Baker is a box of dynamite waiting to explode. Who will his next victims be? The answer should be none, as he should be taken off of active duty and terminated immediately, given both his past and current conduct. Officer Larry Burke also needs to be immediately fired because of his actions toward me, with colluding with Officer Baker to, under color of law and deprivation of rights, under threat of force and arrest, removed from the courtroom. Then I give even more detail here. Below are links to some of the criminal conduct history of a number of the Village of Cold Spring, New York police officers, including Officer Kenneth Baker. Other officers resign. I mean, it's just crazy. Other officers are pressured to be fired because they're all ex-NYPD, or most of them are ex-NYPD corrupt officers. Just look at 50-8.org. That gives all the information of any NYPD, present or past. Then, this is all in my email. This is not making it up because I didn't like how Officer Baker looked, though he certainly could lose about 60 or 70 pounds. These are facts from court settlements that are available online. I sent all this to Mayor Foley. She had everything she needed to immediately see this brutal cop has got to be fired. I mean, it's crazy what he did. Right. And look at there's all the complaints and settlements. And look, for one example, defendant officers sawed open plaintiff's home door. What? You're freaking lumberjack now? You know, you got a special at Home Depot for some Sawzall stuff? You can't just kick a door in like the old days? Not that you should have, because I don't think you had a right to kick it in from what I understand. But once you sawed open the door, they pushed the plaintiff and family members on the ground and yelled offensive language. Plaintiff was handcuffed excessively tight to torture him, of course, and forced into a police van wearing night clothes. He wasn't even given the dignity to get dressed. Officers then drove him around for hours in the police van, including stopping for breakfast. I guess they had like a special of, buy 12 donuts, get 50 free. And while the plaintiffs were in the van, they stopped for breakfast. At some point, the plaintiff was illegally strip searched, and the plaintiff's house was ransacked and property, including cash and clothes, never returned. That is called theft, ladies and gentlemen. Charges were dismissed because Officer Glover failed to appear in court. Right. I mean, this is his gang that he hung out with. So this is the Officer Kenneth Baker. Here's another one. I want you to understand where this comes from. I have no grudge against the guy, but he happened for the first time in his life to mess directly with a dedicated police reform activist. Yours truly, Leroy Truth Investigations. That's why I'm never going to drop this, because he has never been held accountable for 27 years as a police officer, 22 years as a member of the NYPD, of which the police unions, they protected him. They paid these settlements out to people that had hardly any money. So they get $20,000, $30,000. It's like they won the freaking lottery. They'll take low settlements. But did he get to keep his job? Yes, after every one of these. I mean, it just goes on and on. On June 20th, 2007, plaintiff was a pedestrian in front of his residence located at so-and-so in the Bronx. By the way, most of these ex-cops, including Kenneth Baker, came from the Bronx, which coincidentally, I was born in the Bronx. It was during this time that Defendant Lopez, together with other defendant NYPD officers, grabbed the plaintiff and slammed him into the ground, put handcuffs on him, and placed him into a police van. Defendant Lopez, together with other defendant NYPD officers, including Kenneth Baker, in the lawsuit, drove said van with plaintiff imprisoned inside for approximately 2 to 3 hours. Right. What are the odds, as you say? I mean, it's nuts. Eventually, the plaintiff was transported to an NYPD precinct where he was subjected to an unlawful strip search. We got a theme of how they torture people. His clothes were removed. He was naked, ladies and gentlemen. How demeaning. They made him squat and cough. The plaintiff was arraigned in the Bronx County Supreme Court Criminal Division on baseless charges. These are the court settlements here. I'm not making this up. But Mayor Foley has ignored every single one of these. Corrupt piece of crap she is. She has no right being mayor there. And the people of the village of Cold Spring who see this, if you don't demand she resign immediately, there's something wrong with you. She has no place being a mayor in your village or any village. I'm gonna share one more. I mean, these go on and on, but I want you to understand the details of these. Yeah, let's see. Do I have Gonzalez? Not sure if I have Gonzalez on here. And I found other ones after I sent this to her. And here's another one here. Plaintiff was in front of his house, so-and-so in the Bronx. The arresting officers claimed that Cardonia acted in concert with another person to commit criminal offenses. While the plaintiff was at his daughter's school, officers arrested him. He was incarcerated until his arraignment and released on his own recognizance. It was during this time that the charges against him were dismissed because of lack of evidence. They arrest him at his school. Again, demeaning. And one more here. Plaintiff number 1 was falsely arrested by police officer, and again, Kenneth Baker is part of this gang, who failed to properly investigate the matter prior to arresting the plaintiffs, as a proper investigation would have proven the innocence of this plaintiff. In addition to the foregoing, the plaintiff was thrown to the ground, dragged by her hair, and handcuffed. Torture. Plaintiff, there's not just one, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. They arrested 7 innocent people. They were falsely arrested at the same time and place. In fact, plaintiff 5 sustained a hairline fracture from officers' force. Is this sick or what? And stop screen sharing for a minute here. Now, what are your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, in this? And if you can pay attention to Scalzo to the comments as well, I'd like to address some. And you see how the mayor and the village board and officer in charge, Larry Burke, and a number of the village idiots in Cold Spring, they have attempted to turn this around on me. Let's see, Gonzalez. Oh, here we go. This is important. Scalzo, thank you, Scalzo. You're an awesome producer. Appreciate you. And this is important here, too. This is Gonzalez versus New York. And Kenneth Baker specifically named in this one, as he is in the others. On March 4th, plaintiffs were inside of their home on 80 West 170th Street. Defendant officers stormed into the plaintiff's home and assaulted, beat, and battered them. If defendants had a search warrant for the apartment, it was issued upon the basis of extremely unreliable information. In other words, they made this up. And the police did not follow NYPD policies and procedures in obtaining and executing such a warrant. So who's the criminal here? Officer Kenneth Baker and friends. Miss Gonzalez was dragged from her bedroom into the living room, where the officers further abused the plaintiffs. No contraband, no drugs, in fact, were found. And the officers then still, you know what? We're going to arrest you anyway, because they love to torture people. Baker. And let's see. So no contraband was found or recovered, and the officers, however, falsely arrested the plaintiffs. The plaintiffs were put into a prisoner van and driven around for approximately not 1, not 2, but 3, not 4, but 5 hours.
That's how you know it's true. What are the odds of separate people telling the same story?
Absolutely. And Scalzo said you may not be able to hear him. And that's how you know it's true, because what are the chances of all these people lying? Over 22 years in the NYPD. Yet Mayor Foley, and I'm going to get to the newspaper, the local piece of garbage rag newspapers, the Highlands Current, and what's the official name of the other? The Putnam. It's not even worthy of remembering. That's why I don't even bother remembering the name. The Putnam County News and Recorder. You can find them both online, rags of papers. And by the way, the Highlands Current is run, the editor is named Chip Rowe, who used to write for Playboy magazine. I got no issue with that. But I'm sure Mayor Foley should. She is the ultimate feminist. And you are colluding with Chip Rowe, who used to be a writer for Playboy magazine? I think you would find that very misogynist, Mayor Foley. And Raya Hoot, Serious Audits, I thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Super chat there. And anyone else would like to super chat or PayPal or Cash App, if you can put that up there, John Denicola and Scalzo. Really appreciate you. So this is just nuts. So now I get a response from Mayor Foley. So let me show you. I'm going to show you what the response from Mayor Foley is. Because again, she was really playing like she really cared. And you're seeing the actual what occurred. I am completely transparent what's going on here. And let's share entire screen again. Share. And let's see. Looks like it. Here we go. All right. So here is her response to me. And she writes, Mr. So-and-so, I write to confirm receipt of your written complaints against Officer Kenneth Baker and Officer not in charge, Larry Burke. As the complaint involves the officer in charge, I, as mayor, finger wagging Foley, will conduct an investigation. I confirm that you and I had an initial discussion by phone, which was very cordial, by the way, on August 16, 2023, this year, in which I asked you to submit a written complaint I could act upon. Did you see all I sent her here, ladies and gentlemen? This is what I sent her. Is this on screen, Scalzo? And I sent her a lot that she can act upon. And so, let's see. After I conduct my investigation, I will report to the Village Board of Trustees and recommend any disciplinary measures that may be appropriate. The board will make a final determination, which the board actually, it is their actual responsibility to hire and fire people. But Mayor Foley is a little dictator. She's the Mao Zedong, the Kim Jong-un of Cold Spring, New York. So whatever she says, they'll do. Well, guess what? That was way back in August 18th. August, September, October, November, December. That's 4 months. How long does it take to do a freaking investigation when I gave you the huge foundation of documented past brutal info? Plus, he's still incredibly aggressive, and he makes people afraid. He is so extremely aggressive personally. So then this is what I wrote back to her. You're going to get the whole play-by-play here. Mayor Foley, thank you for acknowledging receipt of my email. And by the way, do you see anything in the tone of my email that is disrespectful or looking for a fight? I am being direct and professional. So Mayor Foley is the one who has caused all of the conflict, all of the drama. So thank you for acknowledging receipt of my email. An important point is I do not trust an internal investigation. And by the way, she also told me on the phone that she was also the chief of police. Was she the undertaker as well? The doctor, the fire chief? And continuing, an important point is I do not trust an internal investigation. It is like a teacher asking her students to grade their own homework and students giving themselves an A each time, and the teacher accepts the grade as real. I am asking for an independent outside person or agency not connected in any way whatsoever with the Village of Cold Spring to do the investigation who has absolutely no conflict of interest. Please put in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, do you agree with what I just said there or disagree? And you want to elaborate on that? No internal investigations. We corrected our own papers, teacher. There's nothing we did wrong. I continue. That is the only option that will assure both myself and the public that an impartial investigation was conducted based upon the facts, not based upon a cover-up, which the police will most certainly do. And Foley, in fact, did that. So what I asked for was really important because she, in fact, covered it up. There's been no investigation. And Kenneth Baker is still working every weekend and Saturdays and Sundays, probably 12-hour shifts in the Village of Cold Spring, New York. Then I continued, please let me know by early next week which agency or person shall be conducting this investigation. Anything less than that will not be acceptable. Also, you asked me if I had any further documentation, and I do. Someone sent me an audio recording taken during my third attendance for the ticket that was taken in the lobby. It was not taken in the courtroom, because I would not record in the courtroom, as that is illegal. It should not be illegal, but it is. It was not taken in the courtroom, and it documents officer in charge Larry Burke blatantly lying. And I haven't released this recording yet. And I have it, Larry Burke, and it's going to be released shortly. Are you on mic? No. All right. Yeah, so Scalzo said that Larry Burke accidentally told the truth because he didn't realize this third person, it wasn't me, he talked with someone else, and he told the truth. And so with this, it's just nuts. So I want to take a look at some of the chats now, and let's see what you all have in there. And again, welcome everyone. I'm so happy you joined me here. And please share this with your friends. Smash the like button. Let's get this out to more people. We got almost 200 people here. I want to build these 200, 300, 500, 1,000, 10,000, a million, and get the word out on truth here. And so I want to check out some of the chats here. And I so appreciate each of you. And we have here, Merry Christmas, Leroy, to you and your family. Thank you so much, New York's Care One. And John Denicola, thank you so much for being one of my moderators here, my main moderator here. And what does Snow White say here? The mayor of Cold Springs has a huge ego and is in love with her own power. She obviously doesn't care about the people. If she did, she would fire Baker to protect the people from him. Yes. And what happened to me is not unique. It has happened to dozens or scores or hundreds of people since he has been there now almost 5 years. I think in January, February, March, April, it's going to be 5 years for Baker. 5 years too long that he's been allowed to harass and intimidate people. It's disgusting. Baker has committed crimes, Joey Sampson says this, that anyone else would be in prison. And James Freeman said that as well when he covered the story. I want to thank him for covering the story. And lackluster and Sean Long Island audits. Here's the deal. Accountability for all. They've all covered the story here. And that James Freeman said, if there were body cameras, when Officer Baker was a cop, he would most likely be in jail. But Officer Baker retired in January. The NYPD was going to require every cop to have body cams starting in March. It was either March or April, I think March of that year. So Baker conveniently retires right before he's going to have an accountability camera on him and goes to the little tiny village of Cold Spring, which until I brought this up, they had no cameras. Since I started covering the story, that's when they got cameras. Now they have body cameras. And by the way, I did a Freedom of Information request on all body camera footage of Officer Kenneth Baker since they started the body cameras maybe a month ago. And you know what the village of Cold Spring is doing? Ignoring my Freedom of Information requests. Lawsuits incoming. You can't do that. That's a federal crime there. And I have not even received a receipt that they have received those requests. Because I want that body camera footage. And anyone can get it. Any of you can request Officer Baker's body cam footage too. Just email the village clerk. And what's the village clerk's email? See if you can find that, Scalzo. And Nancy's Freedom here said something. Leroy, there's another channel I can look to see your God's gift to playing. Oh, I could listen to that all day. Yeah, Nancy, email me at LeroyTruth247@gmail.com, and I will do that. And if you can put on the village clerks, if anyone else is curious and wants to hold Officer Kenneth Baker accountable, let's see. Now, of course, he's going to be on his best behavior because he knows now he's got cameras, but a psychopath can only be a psychopath so long hiding that before the true colors come out. Unfortunately, someone like him is like a stick of dynamite. And at some point, he's going to blow up. And he's already been put on notice before me that someone can possibly be injured or unalived because of his sociopath and psychopathic tendencies. So now I'm going to show you the 2 hit pieces that were done on me by the local village of Cold Spring. And tri-state and watch closely, Scalzo, the comments. Yeah. And watch closely the comments as well. And so welcome, Scalzo. You're muted there. And welcome, Scalzo.
Hello, greetings. Greetings, Earth. How's everybody?
Hopefully we do not have an echo. Here, we just had an echo for a minute. And Vinny DeGuido, call in a bit. Not yet, though. Kenneth Baker and Mayor Foley are probably secretly in the... Okay, I don't know about that. So what do you have... Before we start this, what do you have?
Well, I have the 2 articles here. This is Cunningham's Corner. This is the most creative... this is basic creative writing. The other article on the Current is Michael Turton. He's more just printing exactly what the mayor has to say. Really very, very lazy writing, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't have anything against him personally, but as a writer, it's a 6th grade level if you're lucky. It's just basically just copy and paste. And the Cunningham is a little more creative, but it's bonkers, completely bonkers, as we will say.
Wow. All right. By the way, is the echo off, everyone? Let me know. Is there an echo? Is there an echo now? If not, then your mic may not be working, Scalzo. Let me know if there's an echo. Easy cameras on. I'm glad you're here. Easy cameras on. Let me know if there's a 1, no echo. Put a 1 in there. If 2, 2 if there is no echo. All right.
No echo. I'm not really hearing it.
Yeah, they're hearing an echo.
Maybe I'll mute myself for now. And by the way, they are the official Cold Spring newspaper. If you're the official government-approved newspaper, I mean, that's so un-American to be an official press.
Oh, yeah.
It's bizarre.
Absolutely. They are literally the Putnam County Register. You want to bring them up there. This is basically the Cunningham's Corner. And then we have the Highland Current article here. So you want to do the Cunningham Corner first. People were saying they couldn't hear you. Okay, say that again.
We have the Cunningham's Corner, and then the Highland Current newspaper here. Okay, this is old style print. So.
Rules in Cold Spring. All right, I'll say that because it's echoing when you're talking. So that's new meeting rules in Cold Spring. So watch this. We're going to start off with Cunningham. Now, Douglas Cunningham, I talked with him last week, and I shared with him the story I shared with you, the story I shared with Kathleen Foley. And you know what they did? Oh, can you hear me, everyone? Is sound on? Here we go. Okay. And you know what? I sent everything to Douglas Cunningham. He's the editor of this Putnam newspaper. I gave him all the documentation. He could just do his own investigation. Forget about Leroy Truth. I have nothing to do with this. I don't have to be in this story anymore. Just do your own freaking journalism work. Douglas, hack, non-journalist, no ethics, coward Cunningham. I gave him everything. You know what he did? An hour later, he puts me in an article. You tell me what you think in this article. I'm going to share this right now. You tell me. I'm going to read this article, which he, by the way, he lumped me into being a conspiracy theorist. How the hell he did that? I have no freaking idea.
If I could just jump in, never trust a guy who wears a bow tie.
They can't hear you. So he also just said, never trust a guy who wears a bow tie. That rhymes too. That should be a new rap here.
And I'm half joking, but I'm also not.
Right. So I had spoken with Douglas on the phone. He seemed to be kind of receptive to what I was saying. When someone brings an accusation of police brutality and unlawful behavior of a police officer who works in the village, wouldn't you think these local papers would do something about it and investigate? Do their own investigation. You don't have to trust me. But I gave you everything you needed to do your own investigation, to find out everything I said is verified. So what I wrote to Douglas, it was good speaking with you earlier. I've been coming to and enjoying the beautiful village of Cold Spring for almost 25 years. The bottom line is I brought information to Mayor Foley and the board about an extremely aggressive police officer, and et cetera, et cetera. And I give him all the documented facts, the 50-8.org, which shows the court documents of police brutality detailed by Kenneth Baker. I do all this. I give him videos that I had uploaded to my YouTube, but being thrown out, unlawfully thrown out by the village of Cold Spring mayor. All this. Look how many resources I've given him. The emails that I sent to the village board. And by the way, the village board and Mayor Foley have ignored all of my emails since I responded asking for an external investigation. And that is why I went to that first meeting. Look at everything I gave him here. I did his freaking job for him. All these links to articles of past police officers, because the village of Cold Spring has a history of hiring brutal, corrupt ex-NYPD police officers. It goes on and on. Look at all the resources I gave him. But this is what he does. He creates this article. Look at the guy. You could just tell. Scalzo just he almost vomited. It was like a vomit laugh, like a laugh, I'll call it.
It's seriously the bow tie. It's performative dress of a fake intellectual. That's what. I also don't trust people with mustaches, but I don't know why.
So it's
just joking.
Yeah, but just look at the guy. So he starts off with 9/11, and somehow he loops me into 9/11. Oh, here we go. There's a lot of, what do they call it? Virtue signaling going on there. Yeah, put that in your byline. He's waiting outside with a face diaper on to vote. Way to critically think there. Not journalists. Now, he goes on to complain about other things. This is an editorial he did. Then he says, Could we stop with the conspiracy ideas? If you don't think it happens here, it does. The Cold Spring Board is under siege by yours truly, Leroy Truth Investigations, since late summer by a so-called First Amendment activist. Well, who labels someone real or so-called? Through my history, I think it's pretty darn real. And he has a YouTube channel, Leroy Truth Investigations. He's done multiple videos about what he professes is police brutality. What he professes. Follow the freaking links I sent you, idiot. You don't have to believe me. Follow the links, but you're not a journalist. You're a hack. You have no ethics because you literally are taking Mayor Foley and whatever she says, and you're being the mouthpiece of Mayor Foley, Putnam County BS newspaper. He has a YouTube channel,
take a second real quick.
Investigations. He's done multiple videos about what he professes. He professes police brutality, which I brought facts, documented facts to you, and other wrongdoing by those in public office. Cold Spring has simply become his latest target. He was in Boston earlier this year. Oh, what the hell does that have to do with everything? I was in Boston earlier this year.
That's a baseball game, right?
Yeah, well, I actually don't go to baseball games, but it could have been anything.
Can't do that.
I was in New Hampshire earlier this year. I was in Vermont earlier this year. I went to Whole Foods earlier this year. I even saw a dove flying in the air earlier this year. He didn't put that in there. Continuing, we might ask, what is he exposing? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Put it in the chat. Literally, you saw what I sent him. Have I exposed nothing? Am I making this stuff up when I have never brought anything that wasn't documented? Court documented, and personal experience documented, and other residents documented. This journalist, what a piece of crap. You need to sell that newspaper immediately. Like this. I'll buy it from you for, actually, no, I won't buy it. If you give it to me, I'll take it. It's not worth anything. In fact, you got to pay me to take your newspaper over. We might ask, what is he exposing? This is a so-called journalist and editor? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. He's splicing together bits of meetings and interviews and confrontations to call it an expose. What?
Does he give any examples of which videos you keep it long form for the most part?
Right, exactly, Scalzo.
Right,
exactly. And from this hash, he calls it hash. What a disgusting vomit head you are. He claims the village of Cold Spring and its part-time police department are out of control. I've never said that. Where do you get you just make stuff out of the air and call yourself a journalist. I document things. And that Mayor Kathleen E. Foley is the meanest mayor in America. That's all he gets. That's his research. Yes.
Why is she considered that?
And the fact is, from my personal experience, that's been my personal experience, that she is, Mayor Fingerwagon Foley, is the meanest mayor in America. It's my turn. I'm speaking now. Then he writes, he gets views and advertising money, enough to call it a full-time vocation. Well, listen, so-called journalists, do you get views and do you get advertising money? And does that suddenly make you not credible and wrong?
And subscribers who give them direct payments.
You get money from them. And so you're trying to destroy my credibility by saying, because I get views. People watch my content. They find my content valuable. They find my research valuable. My actually documented research. We find your lack of research invaluable and disgusting. Now, he continues. He urges followers to call and email the village, and many do. And I say anyone has a right to peacefully redress the government. I've never encouraged violence ever. I totally condemn any type of violence or threats. And however, this is what he continues to write. And he urges followers to call and email the village, and many do. And communications laced with racist and sexist overtones. How dare you connect that claim or attempt to connect that with me? Again, I don't know any of that is even true. But if someone is doing those things, I condemn them. But people have a right to redress the government. And if some are doing that, well, I condemn that. But don't you loop me into that. The workers at Village Hall say these constant threats, as well as the threat that I could show up at any moment. It's a threat if I show up to do a Freedom of Information request. It's a threat if I show up because I want to redress the government and I want to hold Mayor Foley and the village board accountable for ignoring the factual, documented brutality of Kenneth Baker's past and his present? How is that a threat by redressing the government? Oh, because the First Amendment is the threat. It is such a threat that he goes on, the lives of Foley and her family have been threatened. The FBI and District Attorney Robert Tendy of the Putnam County District Attorney's Office are investigating. And anyone, if you want to ask questions about the District Attorney, Robert Tendy, and put the link in the chat if you like. Again, peacefully, never violently, professionally. But if you want to ask, hey, what is this investigation about? District Attorney Robert Tendy of the Putnam Valley District Attorney's Office are investigating. So I am being investigated, Leroy Truth, by the FBI and by the District Attorney.
I just want to give a formal invitation to the FBI and District Attorney if they want to visit us in Cold Spring and follow us around. That would
Now,
be
Scalzo
delightful.
just talked. Put in the chat. Watch the Scalzo. I don't see the chat. Did you hear Scalzo? And was it clean sound or was it an echo? So look at the chats there. And last month, aiming to restore a sense of safety, keep it on the chats, Cold Spring significantly tightened up its policies on filming and public comment in Village Hall. I want to underline, do you realize how egregiously wrong this is? In the name of restoring a sense of safety for the village staff, Cold Spring, me and Mayor Foley, she's Cold Spring. Like Fauci is science. Fauci says, I am medical science. And so Foley is Cold Spring, significantly tightened up its policies on filming and public comment in the Village Hall. You know what Foley did? Her and the board voted that going forward, no one by default is allowed to speak at a public village board meeting unless they specifically vote to allow them. And that is, of course, directed directly at me. And that is a policy which is unconstitutional. And you cannot even create a policy that is directed to silence one man. So what that means in practicality is when I'm not at a village board meeting, they will vote to allow anyone to comment and not even give them 3 minutes, by the way. She only does that with me. And when I am there, they will not vote, meaning by default, I am not allowed to speak. And no one, she has gagged the entire village. You know what? The only person who has been attacked is actually me. I was accosted by someone at Community Day. Someone stood directly in front of my camera, like directly in front of it, wouldn't leave the camera initially. And I was attacked by someone who was upset at Mayor Foley's dictum that no one is allowed to speak at meetings anymore unless they vote to allow that. And I have filed criminal charges against that unknown man. And the village of Cold Spring they are dragging their feet. I did their freaking job for them. Someone who was there recording as well saw him get into the car after he had attacked me and got a video of him getting into the car. And I provided the license plate number of the accoster to Larry Burke in the village of Cold Spring, and it's been over a week. They have his freaking license plate number, and they still claim they don't know who he is. Corruption runs deep there. Continuing. Simply, there is no audit. At bottom, it's more conspiracies. He's calling me a conspiracy theorist when I bring factual, documented truth to the village board, to him. I gave him everything. Don't believe me. Check on the veracity yourself of this information, and you'll find out it's true. But instead, he says more insults are against our police and political leaders. No, it's called facts, Jack. The other impact, time that ought to go to ordinary citizens and their issues is instead going to deal with the fabulous. He uses a fancy word thinking, ooh, people are going to think now he's a real journalist with his stupid ass bow tie and his beta woke self with his mask wearing garbage. You know what a fabulist is? It's a person who makes up stories about unicorns and dragons and wizards and myths and fables. I brought facts, but because he refused to document the facts, actually to investigate the documented facts, he makes this up. And he says, would you want to speak at a village board meeting if you knew you might end up in a Leroy Truth Investigations video? No. So apparently now, Douglas, non-professional journalist Cunningham, you speak for all the village people now? And you speak for people who are not in the village? I've only spoken at one single meeting, and I was thrown out physically by Robert Barclay, another brutal police officer, because the mayor didn't want me to speak the truth. I've only spoken at one meeting, and then that's right. Then there was a second one. Only 2 meetings. Now, similar efforts to break things, to just tear them down, are going on in our school. So then he goes on to some other garbage there. So I want to see. I haven't seen the chats. I want to look at the chats now, and any that stand out. Scalzi, you want me to cover here? I want you to pay close attention to the chat. And
Let me just show this real quick. I'm probably echoing. Leroy has a history of activism.
okay. They say you're echoing too much here.
You mentioned Schumer.
Yeah, but you hold up the pictures here. So some of the things I've done in the past, and I'm not a supporter of Schumer. For those like you love Schumer. We have to work with politicians who are in office if we're going to get anything done. And I stopped police from harassing and assaulting voters on the Hudson River. Took me 4 years. The New York Times did a front page national story on it, and I started this group called Freedom to Go Voting. And one of Schumer's directors saw the article, and I contacted Schumer, and we stopped the harassment and assault of innocent voters on the Hudson River. It was going on. Thousands of voters were being harassed. And I coincidentally, or maybe by fate, did a press conference with Schumer in Cold Spring. That's Cold Spring right there. That's Cold Spring, New York. I did a press conference about police reform in Cold Spring. I think that was 2011. And I ended it. I ended the police harassment. I have a history of successful activism, and they're ignoring all of this. That's another press conference I did with Schumer, because the barges had no accurate maps when they were taking, tens of thousands or however many gallons of oil up and down the Hudson River. They had 100-year-old maps. So I also did a press conference with Schumer to change that as well. So just to give you some background there. So let's see. What are your thoughts? Is the echo gone? Oh man, the echo. See, okay, just keep yourself muted. And okay, let us know if it's fixed now. And thanks. Let us know if it's fixed. No. All right. It should be fine now. And okay, it's good now. Thank you, Afro Audits. And I apologize for the technical challenges. We had a different setup today, and we're going to fix that for next week. So thank you. Thank you, Claire. All right. And so I'm going to read one more article, the other hit piece by the Highlands Current. Then I'm going to open this up to phones. We're going to go actually till 9:30 today, and I'm going to open up to the phones in a few minutes. All right. And can you send Good Guy Activism the link to the StreamYard? Scalzo, can you send Good Guy Activism the link to the StreamYard? Oh, never mind. And here, let's just put it just put it in the chat. And let me see if I could. Here, I'm going to put it in the chat here. And so Good Guy Activism, I had invited him to come on. And there's the link for the StreamYard to come in there. And so I just put it in the chat, period. I just put it in the chat. And just let him know. Here, put it in the chat. Because Good Guy Activism has personal experience there as well. So check this out, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to share my screen again here and share screen. And this is the other hit piece that was done on me. And share entire screen. Here we go. The Highlands Current. Oh, by the way, this was another article. And the mayor is complaining that the Cold Spring faces a budget squeeze. This was September of 2023. And she's complaining because they're $43,000 in the red. Guess what, Mayor and the village board? Fire the entire police department. You don't need them. They are completely unnecessary. Over $320,000 you pay for police. That $43,000, you're in the black. I should be the mayor. Why don't you just abdicate and see what we can do legally so I can become the mayor there? How about I take over from your incompetence? Now, this comes from Michael Turton. This was the front page news of the Highlands Current. total rag of a newspaper. And if anyone wants to put the link on there, just so you can take a look for yourself, the Highlands Current. The Cold Spring Village Board on Wednesday, Mayor Foley, that means, approved policies to combat what Mayor Kathleen Foley described as harassment involving a First Amendment activist. I'm just redressing the government, and she calls it harassment? What an abomination she is, and how she attempts to twist this around. Foley said that since June, the village board, police department, and village staff have been subjected to harassment that has escalated in recent weeks. Earlier this year, so-and-so, who online sources say is filed a complaint with the village alleging he had been abused by Cold Spring police officers when he was issued a traffic ticket and during a subsequent appearance in traffic court. And you know what? That's the last this so-called journalist mentions that. All he had to do is go into the allegations I have brought forth and do his own investigation. But he literally dismisses it, everything I've said, and all the links I've given him, just like Foley. Under the name, He posts videos on YouTube that outline cases from around the country of what he portrays as egregious police misconduct. His channel has 29,000 followers, almost 30,000. I'm only like 400 away from 30,000. Keep growing. So subscribe to my channel if you're not. Please subscribe now. A 34-minute video about Cold Spring posted 2 months ago has been viewed nearly 51,000 times. Well, plus, Lackluster picked it up. It's been viewed 500,000 times by his James Freeman. Here's the deal. Sean Long Island Audit over 500,000 times. The list goes on. It's had over 3 million views collectively from all of us. In another video that has received 40,000 views, he describes Foley as the meanest mayor in America. Tell me if I'm wrong. Anyone in the chat, tell me if I'm wrong, and if I am, you better damn well tell me why. After filming at the village's community day in July, he posted a video alleging that people are scared of local officers. Well, I've got them on video cameras saying they are. You piece of crap non-reporter here. I got the facts, Jack. You don't. You just got lies and more lies. That's why people call this fake news. He claims the officer in charge, Larry Burke and Officer Kenneth Baker, who gave him the ticket, should be fired because they were named during past jobs and complaints or lawsuits. Actually, Kenneth Baker was, but also because of what he does now. And let's see. In May, the Boston Globe described a scene in which him and another colleague provoked passerbys outside a suburban public library. No, I was assaulted by a man inside the public library for simply recording in a public space. They don't even get their freaking facts right. Outside a suburban public library. And what they called a First Amendment audit, a kind of performative protest. No, it's called we're testing the First Amendments. And in a free country, you have to be able to test what we are allowed to do. I mean, as human rights, we are allowed to record. And if we find we are not allowed to, or we are assaulted or accosted, well, then we are doing an incredible service. We got to educate more people here. For municipal workers, the stunts add to the rash of hostile behavior many face these days. These aren't stunts. This is actual journalism, unlike yours. And the rash of hostile behavior may come because so many public servants, public employees are so incredibly rude and dismissive and angry and hostile to we the people, the public. You see it on so many videos. And he's also appeared at several Cold Spring meetings along with supporters shooting video. Right? Like, whoa, that's a really bad thing. That means they really are under siege by me. Even after he was asked to leave when he became argumentative and disruptive. This reporter is so bad, you literally need to bury yourself in a hole like 75 feet below the surface and live there in a subterranean solitary confinement for the rest of your life. I mean, you are a disgrace to actual journalism, because I didn't become argumentative. It was actually Foley. Watch the freaking video. From the very beginning of my first public comment place, she kept interrupting me. She kept attempting to correct me on things I was saying, and she took away my time and then misrepresented and lied about me at the end. And I corrected her while it was still actually my time, and she had me thrown out hands-on physical force by Officer Kenneth Barclay. What freaking liar. This is just lies. And Foley said that Phillips followers on YouTube are prompted to harass public employees. Did you do any investigation? I have never said that in one single video. I always say peaceful. This is a rag. This place needs to go out of business like this. An elected official with aggressive, even threatening phone calls, emails, and social media posts. I have received threats on my life and threats on the lives of my family, sufficient to warrant engagement by the district attorney and the FBI. I bet Foley was so excited to call the FBI. Man, I feel really important. I have someone be investigated by the FBI. I can tell all my friends at the coffee clutches and all the little woke meetings we have about, I got someone investigated by the FBI. So FBI, I know you're listening to this, and I always say peaceful, but we always have a right to redress the government, including you. And it isn't a joke. It is reckless, and frankly, it is a form of domestic terrorism. So she, point blank, Mayor Kathleen Foley has accused me of being a domestic terrorist, so much that she has the FBI investigating me. And my phones are probably tapped, and I'm just assuming they are. So whenever I'm talking with people, I'm always talking with the FBI, which I actually talk with them. Say, hey, FBI, you know I ate some tacos today? They weren't so good. Can you believe it? Because I am attempting to get justice for me being given an unlawful false ticket and then uncovering a history and a present of past history of brutality of Officer Kenneth Baker and a present of incredibly aggressive policing and corruption and cover-up by Kathleen Foley. And she dares call me a domestic terrorist, an independent journalist. And Village of Cold Spring, you still allow her to be your mayor when she lies, slanders me, and this newspaper rag, Highlands Current, with Michael Turton, the non-reporter, just prints whatever she says without challenge, without investigation. You printed that Mayor Foley says I am a domestic terrorist. She said in the days after videos are posted, village offices are inundated with what she described as disgusting, degrading messages. The degree of misogyny, racism, sexism, and violence in these contacts is simply nauseating, she said. Right. And actually, I'm almost done reading this. I want you to show a few pictures after that. Under the new policies, recording video or audio anywhere in Village Hall, except at public meetings, will require permission. Wrong, Foley. Wrong, Foley. Wrong. As soon as I read that, myself and Good Guy Activism and Scales of Photo, we went there to do a Freedom of Information request, and we, as have a right to do, which is protected by the First Amendment of the Constitution, chose to record our interactions during our Freedom of Information request. And we did it right in front of your freaking face. And you wagged your finger and kept saying, oh, the signs. And you even read the policy to us. That policy is good for toilet paper. That's all it's good for, Mayor Foley. Rules governing the public comment period will also be tightened, meaning censored, unallowed to speak, not allowed to speak. That is unconstitutional, against the law. Going forward, a majority of the board must agree at each meeting to hear comments. Now, this is Foley's doublespeak. And in about 3 minutes, we're going to get the phone. We're going to open up the phones up, so stay with me here. We recognize and value a person's right to free speech, Foley said. Can you believe that? And this is how she talks. She'll talk from one side of her mouth, we'll call it nicely, but then she'll talk at the other side of her mouth. But there are appropriate times, places, and manners in which those rights can be expressed. And who determines those? Mayor Mal Foley, finger wagging Foley? Oh, dictator Foley wants to determine. No, I have a right to redress any government in our country. And I was wrong. I'm looking personally for justice of Officer Kenneth Baker when he wronged me. And you have never acknowledged a single thing I brought to you. Continuing, there is no law in New York that requires municipal boards to hear comments except at public hearings, she claims. Each board makes its own rules. So she's literally, and the newspaper is supporting her. We're not going to let people speak because we believe there's some law that we don't have to let them. How can you call yourself a part of a democratic government, a free republic, when you don't allow public comments? people do that when they're afraid they're hiding something. I think you're hiding a lot, Mayor Foley. She added, it is appropriate and lawful for the board to choose on a meeting-by-meeting basis to restrict comment to topics on the current agenda so that discussions are focused and productive. And what happens when you and the board ignored 1, 2, 3 emails where I had to come to a village meeting to redress the government, and you've ignored everything I've said? But Mayor Foley, I ain't going away. I will never, ever quit until justice is served and you are shown for the hypocrite that you are, and Kenneth Baker is rightfully fired to protect the townspeople, the business owners, and the visitors. Lastly, Mayor goes on to say, none of us would have chosen to modify the public comment policy in the way we did had we and our staff not faced such pressing, unrelenting threats and chaos in session. The only chaos in session was what you created, Foley. Freaking liar. And I know you're watching this, and I heard someone said you have a crush on me. It's kind of weird, but, I don't know. I don't blame you. The policy does extend flexibility and discretion to the trustees on a meeting-by-meeting basis, meaning when Leroy ain't there, then they're going to vote to let people speak. It is my hope that our village meetings will return to normal order so that we can continue to be welcoming to residents' desires to speak and engage. So what are your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, on that? 2 rag newspapers. I mean, insane. Yeah. Now, I'm going to show this and show this. No, the other way. Barclay first. Now, Officer Robert Barclay, look him up. If someone can share this, I'm going to open up the phones in 2 minutes. That's Officer Robert Barclay, who took me out hands-on from the first village board meeting that I attended. And look up his 50-A. If a moderator or someone can do it. Robert Barclay, Barclay. Put a link in there. He almost unalived a man, him and a business partner. And egregious brutality that they did. And he got hired here. All right. And however, the last time I was at the village of Cold Spring, Good Guy Activism was with me. Oh, I see David here. Good Guy Activism was with me, and also Scalzo. The police wouldn't arrest us for ignoring Mayor Foley's policy. In fact, one police officer named Officer Casenzo, I believe that his name is close to it, he was extraordinary. He literally said twice, you have a right to film any publicly accessible areas. Constantina is his name. Officer Constantino, Village of Cold Spring, New York. He literally is saying to us, we have a right to redress the government. We have a right to record anywhere that is publicly accessible. Now, he didn't grant us that right. He's just acknowledging that he took an oath to the Constitution that he is actually honoring. He's saying this as Mayor Foley is wagging her finger saying, you can't record here. You can't record here. I got that on my latest video. Make sure to check that out. It's just absolutely nuts. So, Good Guy Activism, before we open up the phone lines here. Who's that? Oh, and Constantino watches Good Guy Activism, by the way. And he said, literally, you do a good job. He said that twice to Good Guy Activism. And he actually is someone who is honoring his oath to protect our constitutional rights. So great job, Officer Constantino. I'm sorry to hear you're probably going to be unemployed very soon, because what I've said is, what do you call a good cop? Unemployed. So, Good Guy, welcome. And I covered one of your videos today, and you did an awesome job for standing up for your rights, not just your rights, but all of our rights. What do you have to say about this, Good Guy?
Hey, Leroy, how you doing? Thanks for...
Hey there, Good Guy.
What's up, Scalzo?
Nope. Maybe he has... Here, I'll leave him on there. Maybe he has gone for a walk or something. I don't know. But you're welcome to come back on here. All right. So I'm going to start taking calls now. Oh, okay. Scalzo wanted, he reminded me, we went to Community Day. Here is the truth. Now, Mayor Foley said we harass people at Community Day. We just talked to people. In fact, people walked up to us. Here's one gentleman who walked up to me. Why are you harassing with your handshake? Yeah. And we talked to many, many locals, village residents, who were incredibly upset about Officer Kenneth Baker's aggressiveness and the corruption and cover-up that they've given complaints to the mayor and the board, and the complaints were all ignored. Here's another. People are discussing this with us. Right. And it was all good. We're talking, some were bootlickers, like that woman that you see there, ultimate bootlicker. Her husband is a NYPD cop, and she says, my husband's main focus being an NYPD police officer is to get home safely. No, that would be a coward, not a brave
line.
man.
That's the blue line. That's what the whole blue line is.
This gentleman here who's in the green shirt, he had an extremely aggressive police brutality story as well. And that woman was like, no, you didn't. And he said, yes, I did. And she says, how would you know? Because I was there. It was me. Officer Kenneth Baker was being aggressive too. So with that, I'm going to open up the phone lines now. So put that up there, Scalzo, on the banner. Wait, here's one more. Oh, this is Michael Turton. Michael Turton is taking our picture there as we were actually leaving. That's Michael Turton, who won't report the truth. He just reports what Mayor Foley says, the communist part of communist China there. All right, let's move on. Okay, first call of the day here.
I didn't know Mayor Foley owns a newspaper.
All right, caller, can you hear me? Caller, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, sir. This is Randy.
Randy, you are one of my favorite people, and Randy has started auditing. And let me know in the comments. Please let me know, 1, if you can hear Randy and I clearly, and 2, if you cannot. Make sure to turn your sound off, Randy. You're echoing.
Sorry.
All right,
Sorry.
Randy, what would you like to share today?
I was just Mr. Leroy. What's the next step with that, mayor? I mean, how can you go over it and get this fixed, or what can you next?
Oh, stand by, caller. What's your name? Caller, can you hear me? Okay. Randy, something wasn't working with one of our systems there. So you were asking, say that again, Randy. I can hear you, Randy. Are you there? Here, Randy, call back. I can't hear you. Okay, we'll let him call back. And the phone lines are open. So what's your comment on what I've shared with you in regards to the hit pieces that the reporters did? Mayor Foley's complete ignoring the facts. Michael Turton, a so-called journalist, ignoring the facts. Douglas Cunningham, editor of the Putnam County Rag, ignoring the facts. What are your thoughts? Okay, let's see if this works now. Randy, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yep. Okay.
All right, great. So my question was, Mr. Leroy, what's the next step with this mayor? I mean, what can you do next? How can you go over her head and get this, fixed?
Right. Well, that's a great question. And some people say, why? And I know, David, why I couldn't hear you. I know I'll be able to hear you now. So I want you to talk after Randy. And one of the things is, some people said, you're not even from there. Well, I visit there a lot. And why are you there? It's not your fight. Well, it is my fight, because it's we the people's fight.
Sir.
It's we the people's fight. If you have injustice somewhere, you have injustice everywhere. If they can get away with it there, they can get away with it anywhere. That's why I'm not going to stop. And one of the things, if anyone wants to do, there's lots of businesses that are amazing businesses in the village of Cold Spring. If any of you choose to talk with them, always peacefully and professionally, you can ask them, hey, what are they going to do about it? They're local. They can get her impeached probably in a few days if they wanted to. So there's less than 2,000 people, Randy, in the village. So,
Yes, sir.
And half of those are kids. So maybe you have 1,000 people. It'll only take a few people demanding justice be served there. So that's a great question you asked, Randy.
You can absolutely count on my support, Mr. Leroy.
I appreciate
I'm
that.
going to do exactly what you said.
All right, I appreciate it. Stay tuned. And this week, the Army of Freedom is going live this week. And so if you haven't joined people, the armyofreedom.com, please put that, John and Scalzo, in the comments. John and Scalzo, armyofreedom.com. Everyone, join the armyofreedom.com. 2 emails a week, 2 phone calls a week, 2 social media posts a week, and you will be able to make change. Because, as Martin Luther King has said, is that the problem is not that we are out-organized. The problem is that we are outnumbered. And we are we are organizing, and every week there will be a specific 2 politicians or to whoever it is, people in power, we will be addressing and demanding, not asking, demanding they do what we want in regards to police reform and government accountability. So, Randy, thanks for your call. I'm going to watch your videos this week, and I'll give you some feedback. And he's a new channel, and tell everyone your channel so they can subscribe to you.
Yes, sir. It's R Yahoo T as in Tom Serious Audit. So thank you, Mr. Leroy. I'm a huge fan, and I just thank you. I mean, you've helped me so much.
I appreciate you so much, Randy. Thanks for those kind words, and God bless you. I'll talk to you later. Bye now.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
All right, welcome. You are on the air with Leroy Truth Investigations. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yes, sir. Bye-bye. Welcome.
Are you there? You got to turn your stereo off or your computer off. You're echoing.
Okay, 1 second.
And anyone, if you call, make sure your audio is off, otherwise it'll be an echo. All right,
Is that better?
Go ahead. Let's see if it's good. All right, where are you calling from? What's your name?
This is Afro Audit.
Oh, Afro Audits. I love you, man. I covered one of Afro Audit's stories. He is awesome, man. You got a phenomenal personality. You don't take shite.
What's up, Afro Audit?
No, I mean, they honestly brought that shit out of me. I mean, I did not have an issue with any of these people until they just started messing with me.
Yes.
So I mean, they woke the beast up, but on this piece here, I just really have to say that, I mean, it sounds just so much like what I'm going through, like with the local media and whatnot, like with the newspapers, just making up false stories. The only difference is like here, the, how do I want to put it? The stories here, the local media won't even cover what is going on. There, that's just fake propaganda news being fed to the newspaper by the DAs and county attorneys, by my assumption.
Yep, and they're doing the same thing in Cold Spring. They're doing the same thing so many places. The same freaking playbook they use, Afro Audits. And by the way, if you're not subscribed to Afro Audits, because most of you are probably not, make sure to subscribe to Afro Audits today as well. He does good work, and he is fearless, and he doesn't take shit at all. So
no, and neither do you guys. I appreciate. I mean, huge fans, always watching. I just got out today from my 27 days, so that shit's done and out of the way.
I want to have you on a live stream in a week or two, so we could talk about exactly why you did 27 days and in jail here, right?
Yep. All over just some cuss words that offended their feelings and their egos and whatnot.
Right. So Afro Audits did 27 days in a cage because he exercised his First Amendment rights. But the cops hate the First Amendment, and the judges and the juries hate the First Amendment. And why did you have a jury? Or was it a bench trial?
See, with this case, I decided to do a bench trial because I used quite a few curse words. So I'm like, well, I'm going to try to, I'm going to test a bench trial out because I've won 2 jury trials. I figured out how the state plays jury trials compared to bench trials, and they use curse words to try to make you look bad. So I'm like, well, I'm going to go with the bench trial because the judge should know what's right from wrong. And then that was the worst decision of my life. I think I could have persuaded the jury why I was cussing because I was upset in the moment.
Right. Yep.
But to a judge, he just railroaded me.
Right. Yep. You're absolutely right. And it's better to take your chances with 6 people or 9 people than with one who already is in bed, metaphorically speaking, with the cops and with the hatred of our rights. So an important lesson for yourself.
Yeah.
And also remember, ladies and gentlemen, and Afro Audits as well, when you're out talking with the police, the public, just assume they're going to be watching that video at a trial. You get arrested. And
Marion's got an investigator that is strictly watching my channel, kind of like with you now and the FBI and stuff. That's what I'm saying. This stuff is like similar, but yours
Fucking
You're
bum.
kind of, I mean, you actually know the FBI is on you. With Marion, the chief of police, he worked at the FBI for 20 years.
Wow. Yep. It is so corrupt. It is absolutely insane. But okay, I let you go, but let's talk. Send me another email. Keep top of mind. I want to cover your story. What happened? It'd be a great lesson for a lot of people.
No problem.
Right. For all
Appreciate you and everyone else. Stay safe.
Oh, my pleasure. And also make sure to put your link in the chat so people can find your channel. Afro Audits, everybody. Okay.
All right.
All right. Take care.
Peace.
All right. David, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So what are your thoughts about what I've shared? I'm not sure how much you heard today.
You know, I agree with you. I just feel like that. I didn't know that Mayor Foley, who is Echo.
There's still Echo now?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have your YouTube on?
No, I'm playing Madden.
Oh.
It's football day.
Yeah.
But I know Mayor Foley owned the newspaper. She has a newspaper on her arms, and she is, brainwashed the newspaper to write whatever she wants to do.
Yeah, she's basically it's her newspaper. It's Mayor Foley's newspaper and her personal diary. She can write it whatever she wants to, and they will just report it. They'll just report it as if it's facts. Yeah,
it's a personal diary.
It's like a personal diary. All right, and by the way, I want to say make a few shout outs here. Thank you, YouTube Turns. You gifted 5 Leroy Truth Investigations memberships. And another 5.
That's awesome.
Raya Hoot, thank you so much for your super chat. And Torque Auditor, thank you so much. I like your style. Thank you and God bless. Thank you so much. CIA, thank you so much. Every amount is so much appreciated. Thank you. Brandon Mitchell, thank you. CIA, another $2. And anyone who would like to offer a super chat or PayPal or Cash App, again, always appreciated. And it helps support the work that I do. And so let's take some more calls now. And all right, here, put this on the screen now, Scalzo. And this is when Scalzo was attempting to speak with Burke, actually, Larry Burke, officer in charge, and he wouldn't talk. Let us know your opinion on this, Scalzo said. And, no, it's not harassment. And he's waving Scalzo away. What's the next photo there?
Hey, Leroy.
Just a minute, David. And then let us know your opinion on this. And he's waving Scalzo away, dismissing him, so freaking unprofessional and rude. Then this is the Phillipstown mayor here, David, good guy audits. You know him. I mean, Phillipstown supervisor.
That's
who?
my
He was pretending not to be a public official right here.
Yep.
That's baby shark.
Yes, his baby teeth coming in. And he was claiming that he was being harassed when Scalzo was just asking him. Actually, Scalzo and I both were asking him for his opinion. You're harassing me. We didn't know he was the town supervisor at the time. And the last one, Scalzo. And did we get anything inaccurate there? Scalzo asked Larry Burke, officer in charge, point blank, did we get anything inaccurate? He ran away like the little bee he is into the police station. He's running away. And actually get the next one after that. He's running into the police station away from Scalzo. Scalzo's just asking him a question, not harassing him. He's a journalist asking him. Oh, here's another one. Then this deranged mother comes up and she accuses us of baiting children. You're baiting children. No, we were standing in front of the Highlands Current Rag newspaper with a sign, and people came up to us. And there were adults and children and families and so forth. Yeah. So, yeah, it's crazy. So let's move on from that for now. But it's just super crazy.
Insane.
No, I mean, and so let's keep the lines moving here. So lines are open. If you have a comment you'd like to make about today or anything, and just call in. Here we have our next caller here. This is Vinny. Hey, Vinny, you are on the air with Leroy Truth Investigations.
Hey, guys, what's going on, man?
All right, so what would you like to say? And I want to give everyone just a couple minutes so we can have more people talk. But Vinny, good to connect with you. And what's the latest?
I just would like to say a huge shout out to you, Scalzo, and also Dave, a good guy activism. What's going on, guys?
Hey.
All good things, man. Fighting the good fight, the righteous fight for we the people's rights.
You know, now, Leroy, you asked a question before. You said, if I'm wrong, explain and explain why. So I got to say you were wrong, and it's because you didn't bow down to their unlawful communistic demands. You know that's your fault, don't you?
Right. In other words, right. You actually make a very good point. And David was laughing. You make a very good point. Because Mayor Foley, she wants everyone to be her bitch. Like, would you be my bitch? David would be my bitch. And I very rarely swear on this channel, and I don't say the F word ever. But this is in context. She wants people to be her bitch, and then as long as you give her fealty, I love you. If you challenge her, she will not only hate you, she'll try to destroy you, and she's attempted to destroy my credibility. But hey, lady.
I have a question, guys. You wouldn't happen to know if the mayor is married by any chance, do you?
What do you know about that, David?
If she's what?
You want to know if anyone knows if she's married.
Oh.
Is the mayor married? Is she married?
Yeah, married.
I mean, the reason why I'm asking is because, I mean, maybe he's just not blinking her hard enough.
Okay, we gotta edit that out there, Vinny. I don't want to do anything with her family, and so it's just Mayor Foley only in her official capacity. All right, I gotta open up the lines, Vinny.
I think she's. I mean, honestly, I think she's having an affair with Baker.
I don't know. We got to keep it to the professional. But Vinny, thanks for calling.
I know, guys.
Okay, take care. Okay. All right, and I'm gonna underline. I have no interest in anything about Mayor Foley's family at all. This is about her in her official capacity. So anything that gentleman said, I don't condone it. I don't support it. We are not on a delay here, so it just came through. All right, so caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Easy Camera Zone. What up, Leroy?
Easy. Pleasure to talk with you. All right.
I'm gonna make it simple. What is it really gonna take to get this mayor removed from office? Like, what are we gonna have to go through? Is it gonna be thousands of complaints or thousands of emails to show, or how many videos is gonna show the corruption of her and to remove her from office?
Yeah, it's a number of things. Is the more we the people demand that she fire Baker, number one, and demand at this point she resign. She has so profoundly corrupted her official capacity by attempting to silence me and not doing her job addressing the facts I've given her. Now, another thing is that if anyone, you can, there's lots of great businesses in the village of Cold Spring. Anyone could do a Google search on them, and just asking them, what are they going to do? They live there, they work there, and and again, always peacefully, professionally, and say, why aren't you?
I see a lot of the people they approach you. Some of those that are curious about it approach you, but those who accept that behavior is like, wow.
Right, they're enabling it. So every one of those village residents and business owners, they're enabling it. It'll only take about 10 or 15 of those business owners to demand that she resign, demand that the village board fire Kenneth Baker, and it's over.
Yeah,
right.
Both of them actually, because the way she's performing as a mayor is it can't be done. It can't be like that.
No. And she's hoping I give it up. She thought I would give up the cause already. But I'm not.
No, she thought you would back out. She thought you would back out because she called the FBI and this and that on you, or because you're using your rights and you hitting her with the law that they had to abide by. All right? They wrote it. You have to abide by it. You chose to choose this job. Now abide by the law.
Right. And Escalation said the law is the lowest standard, actually, but she should abide by the law, but also just do the right thing. Human decency, human respect. Yeah, and no censorship. That's basic.
That was my question, man. I don't want to hold up. I want to hear somebody else's. I want to get back into the video. So I'm out of here. Love and respect to you, Escalzos, GGA, everybody in the chat. Everybody that came for the phone calls. Love and respect to everybody, man.
Okay, God bless you, Easy. Great to connect. Let's talk offline this week, too.
No problem.
Okay. Right. Phone lines are opened up, everyone. And yeah, it's crazy. So people are asking what's going to be done. And I always say, that I know the FBI is now watching all of my videos. Every time I come up with a new video, the FBI gets it. So you know what? Anything we want to redress the FBI, like FBI, I want to know where Jimmy Hoffa is. I know you know. I want to know where he is. FBI, I want to know about, and what do they call that place? Area 51. Give us the truth.
Nope.
You listen to these videos, and I want to know all the criminal cops who are FBI agents. What do you do about them? The same thing the freaking NYPD does. Cover up for them. What are you saying, good guy?
I'm saying he's nowhere now.
No.
Us.
You do about that.
All right, turn off your computer sound or phone sound there. And what's your name and where are you calling from?
Oh.
I'm the guy that's running your backside here, and I need a raise.
Okay, and what does that mean?
That means as your moderator, I'd like a raise.
Oh, is this John?
I'll catch you later, brother.
All right, John, great to connect. Thanks for your work, my man. And that's John Denicola with one of the shortest calls in the world. And who do we have? Hello, caller. You're on Leroy Truth Investigations Live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Willie Medina. I'm calling from Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Excellent. Bridgeport. A lot of crazy stuff going on with the mayor race and the corruption and the stolen race from Mayor Joe Ganim there. So what's up? What you like to talk about today?
Absolutely. No, I've seen the stories and I've been watching the videos of this particular case that you guys are seeing and the narrative. I mean, they might as well become, actors and producers because they're spinning this story in a way that's making you look bad. But again, they don't realize your name and you just spill out the truth. Videos don't lie, and those narratives of those reporters, I just don't know how they can call themselves reporters when they're fighting against our own Constitution.
Right. And you're right on. I really appreciate your call and your perspective because no journalist, no reporter can call themselves an ethical journalist unless they investigate when someone brings something to them or when someone says they're lying. So Mayor Foley says I'm lying. Well, the onus is on the reporter to find out the truth. Forget about me. Don't believe what I have to say. Investigate. And you'll find out the mayor is a liar pants on fire. And Leroy Truth is the truth teller here. So that's you make a really
absolutely.
good point.
The videos, and you have the videos. So how easy it is for that journalist to find out the truth when we have the videos. You have the videos. They're posted. You're not hiding anything.
Right.
The mayor is hiding things. She's hiding behind this police officer because I've seen the videos and everything. And when the public is the one that's reporting their own testimony and and they live in that community, how are they not going to notice that it's them? But no one's going to say nothing until it happens to them. And that's the biggest problem we have because they just think that it's not going to happen to them. But when it happens to them, they're the ones that are going to have the outcry.
Right. Yep. You're absolutely correct. So thank you so much for your call and I hope you call back again.
Have a good one.
Right. You too.
You got it, boss.
Okay.
God bless.
God bless you. All right. And so the lines are open. And as Scalzo put up there, Legal Aid Society. Did you know that the NYPD may pay $100 million in settlements in 2023? That would end homelessness, most likely, with $100 million. And that's paid off because of criminal police officers protected by the police unions. But they will tend to get away with it unless we stop them. And God bless people like Eli, good guy activism, easy on cameras, and the other people who have been challenging the unlawful NYPD police policies of not allowing people to record in a police lobby. And then Sean Long Island Audit, he also challenged that. He got arrested. As I know, good guy has gotten arrested at least 6 times this year. 6 times for an unlawful policy. But unless they challenged it and Sean Long Island Audits, he did a federal case against it, it's going to continue. So we have another call here. Yes, welcome to Leroy Truth Investigations. You are live. What's your name and where are you calling from? Oh, I can't hear you.
TK.
I can hear you now.
My name is VTK.
Yes, excellent, excellent. Where are you calling from, and what would you like to say?
The question is for GGG. When you went to the hospital to torment the cops, do you think that was okay?
Oh, he left.
Yeah,
he's not here. Yeah. So I'm glad to have questions on here. So you tell me what you think he did.
Yeah. Well, I think he went there to torment the security guards from the hospital.
All right. And why do you think that? Because I'd love to take calls and honestly have a conversation about this. So I really appreciate your call. And I'm not going to hang up on you. I'm not going to censor you. I'm going to let you speak. And why do you think? Because I saw the video, by the way. So why do you think that he went there to torment them?
I just thought that it was just horrible. They just went in there and they just horrible.
Well, what if you looked at it as it actually happened, which they didn't go there to torment anyone. And what happened is they just were video recording. And the police are the ones who went up to them and harassed Cass and Good Guy Activism. And I think maybe someone else was there. They just were recording. So they did nothing wrong, right? Would you agree with that?
Yes, I see the big picture now.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you because I want all perspectives on here, and I will never shut someone down unless they're saying something that is, can't be on YouTube, get the channel shut down or something against someone personally. Well, I really appreciate your call, and I hope you subscribe.
Thank you.
And also email me at LeroyTruth247@gmail.com if you want to.
Thank you so much for taking my call.
Oh, my pleasure. Okay. Full Court Press. And what's the channel? What channel? Okay. Well, on which video was he? So Good Guy Activism, Cass, and is Cass Full Court Press? No. Someone else. All right. Right. And phone lines are open. And that was an interesting call. So at first she was saying that they were tormenting the police, and she had a very quick turnaround and then said, I see the big picture now. So I don't know if she's sincere, but if she is, that's the quickest turnaround in the history of the world. Welcome, caller. What's your name?
Hi.
Turn your stereo down. Or, what's your name?
Yep, I got it.
Okay.
My name's Carl.
Hey, Carl. All right, excellent. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Michigan.
All right, excellent. And what would you like to say?
I was just wanting to talk to Leroy and let him know I do watch his channel, and what that mayor and the police officers in that town are doing is definitely wrong. Another thing is a lot of people decide to demand to know why you are exercising your rights. They want to know why. Well, they don't have the right to know why someone chooses to exercise their rights.
Whoa. Carl, you have just dropped an incredible truth, BOOMMM. I can't say the word on here. Literally, you're right. Yeah. We don't have to justify why we are exercising our rights. If I want to record, well, why? I take the fifth. I don't have to tell you why. None of your freaking business. Why do you breathe air? Right, Carl? If someone says, why are you breathing?
I agree.
Why are you taking up space?
Exactly.
It's exactly. I could be standing where you are now. You need to move so I can stand where you are because I want that space you're taking up. I'm gonna use that in my videos going forward, Carl. That is that's a profound thing. The most simple things are many times the most profound. We don't need to justify a right because a constitutional right isn't granted by the Constitution. It's a human right that the Constitution codifies to supposedly assure the government protects that right of us. So yeah. Why are you recording?
Precisely.
None of your business. Yeah. No. Why are you breathing?
And another thing is too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, another thing is too is when you're exercising your rights and others don't like it, and I've seen. Trust me, I watch dozens of these auditors out there. I could name them, but it would be a lot. But I lost my train of thought.
It's all good. It'll come back to you. You're talking about auditors out there and don't have to justify our rights.
Right. Okay. Just like an Afro's situation, they arrested him for freedom of speech. He wasn't out of control or being crazy. He just swore.
Right. He did not pose a threat to anybody, right,
that.
Carl? He didn't pose a physical threat to anyone. He caused an auditory threat to the woke, cowardly police officers there. Oh, he's offending my ears. My ears are bleeding. My ears are bleeding. Well, not actual blood was coming out of them, coppers.
Right. Well, people get arrested for not breaking the law. The police officers know they haven't broken the law. And then they go in front of the judge, and the judge knows they haven't broken the law, but yet they still charge them with a crime.
Right on. I got another caller. I think it's a troll. It says no caller ID. Thanks for your call, Carl. Let's see if this is a troll.
You're welcome, sir.
Hello, welcome to the Leroy Truth Investigation Show. Leroy Truth here. What would you like to say? What's your name?
Hey, this is JC. What's up, Leroy?
Hey, I couldn't hear your name. The phone broke you up there.
I'm sorry, this is JC News. How you doing, Leroy?
Hey, JC News Now. Great to connect with you. I'm doing awesome. What would you like to share?
Man, great show. I really like to listen to different perspectives, even if it's ones that we don't always agree to. That's what makes you a true journalist, sir. I love your channel, and I love what you stand for, and I'm backing you 100%, man. You've always got somebody in your corner with me.
I appreciate that, JC News. Thank you so much. And you're a true patriot.
All right, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I'm going to let you get on with your show, and I'm going to keep watching. Everybody share, like, and subscribe. Sharing is free. But let's get this guy out there so more people will see him. Thanks, Leroy, for everything you do, man. We love you, brother.
My pleasure. I love you, too. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Welcome. You're on the Leroy Truth Investigation Show. Leroy Truth speaking. What's your name, and what would you like to share?
This is Dub Wubs.
Dub, it is a pleasure and an honor. I see Dub almost everyone. I see Dub almost everywhere. Any premiere, any live stream, I see Dub Wubs in there, and he's always super cool.
I got a fucking opinion about what Cash did. Right? I think it was fucking stupid. Fucking stupid that he would fucking torment the police.
Right. I only saw a portion of the video, so I'm not sure. So I'm going to watch the video as well. And, see what. So thank you for bringing that to my attention here.
What they fucking better do with their lives.
Oh, you know what?
Unknown caller.
He hung up there. All right. Welcome to the Leroy Truth Investigation Show. This is Leroy Truth. What's your name and what would you like to say? Can't hear you. Are you there? Hello, caller. You're on the air here.
Yes, Leroy. This is Kane. I just wanted to give you a brief social commentary on some things that I'm seeing nowadays in society. And it's really just the desensitization of everyone to everything. I was getting my gas pumped. This gas station had graffiti on it talking about Nazis and heart Nazis. And I'm pointing this out to the gas station attendant. I'm like, hey, you got to get rid of that. That's not a good look. And he tries to reassure me. He's like, oh yeah, no, I don't know how that got there. We're going to take care of that. This is a local gas station for me. I frequent it, and I go back there. A week or two later, it's still up. Okay, so the same gas station attendant, I pointed out again, and I'm just like, oh hey, by the way, I've got pictures of it. So if it's still there next time, I'm just going to post a review, sharing the pictures to every review platform out there for your business. And then all of a sudden it got taken care of. People don't care unless they're going to get exposed for some reason. It's just
right. You know what?
Like, why should I care? Yeah.
I love my callers here because I love your comment because you're right. They don't care unless they're exposed. And video, YouTube, Facebook, comments, reviews, they expose them. Most people won't do the right thing unless they're forced to do the right thing. That's the bottom line. And if anyone has a specific quote of the evening from me today, this is one. Most people, not us, but most people in government or a lot of people in the freaking gas station, they won't do the right thing just because it's the right thing to do, unless they are forced to do the right thing. And that's messed up. That says a lot about our society. But police will not do the right thing unless they're forced to. Mayor Foley won't do the right thing unless she's forced to. And most government officials will do whatever they want, and they get away with it, regardless of that is hurtful to we the people. So you brought a point.
I watch First Amendment audits, and it's given me like a whole new set of confidence. I work in the healthcare field, and I see some, I'm just going to say egregious malpractice going on. And before, when I was new, I kind of just wanted to let it slide. And then, I started watching more and more audit videos, started realizing, oh, hey, I did my own studying. I was inspired. I started studying relevant law for my workplace. And I started sticking up for what I thought was right, what I knew was a miscarriage of the healthcare system. And I was, like you, I was attacked by my employers, by middle management people who really were incompetent. They didn't understand not only the applicable laws, like we have people in positions of powers, and they have no idea what exactly they're doing. The concepts, the medical concepts that, oh, hey, maybe we shouldn't do a procedure this way because it's going to invalidate some test results. They will cut corners to save a buck. And really, it doesn't even have to be much, but it just has to be enough to where they can justify pulling a fast one, essentially. And so I see a lot of new people coming in thinking the healthcare industry is, somehow separated from what we see going on in the rest of the country. It's really not. It's just as corrupt. There's the same people like the mayor over in Cold Spring doing the exact same thing. They get into these positions of power. They don't know how to manage it, and they try to cut corners so that they can nickel and dime. They can pull every cent they can out of you. And then once they do that, they don't care if they get fired. They got golden parachutes. They got experience. They could say, oh yeah, I can get hired anywhere now. So they just go and do the same thing somewhere else. It's same thing with cops. Same thing in the healthcare field, Leroy. Just wanted to expose that. I
appreciate that, because truth bears the light of scrutiny, and corruption does not. That's why corrupt mayors like Kathleen Foley and so many others. She's one of many. They get away with it because the light of truth is not shown upon them, or if it is, it's shown for a split second and someone moves on. And so people like yourself, again, you're aware of it, you expose it, and keep fighting a good fight. And please join my Army of Freedom. And if my moderators could put the armyofreedom.com in there, and we're gonna activate it this week. And our first email is coming out this week of who we're going to be redressing this week in mass. So I really appreciate you. Thanks so much for the call, and look forward to talking again.
Thank you, Leroy. Thank you. God bless. God bless.
My pleasure. God bless you too. Bye now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go 5 more minutes, and Riz was going to go till 9 p.m. Eastern, 1 hour show, but we've had numerous calls, and I had a lot to cover today to really put everything in context. And again, FBI, I hope you enjoy this show. I hope you've enjoyed the callers, and that you will investigate Mayor Kathleen Foley and investigate Officer Kenneth Baker. And I hope you investigate Officer Larry Burke, and you investigate Officer Robert Barclay, and investigate everything when it comes to the Village of Cold Spring. Because truth shall bear the light of scrutiny, corruption does not. And, here we go. Mayor Foley, trustees, and head of police protect abusive officer, low standards, $300,000. And that's Officer Kenneth Baker there. That's his picture, his fancy badge number. He's number 20 in the Village of Cold Spring. And you could just see the anger and the brutality just pouring out of his DNA, even in a still photograph. It's insane. So open up the phones, and we're going to end in 5 minutes. So anyone want to call, share anything I've shared today, comment on that, or anything you would like to. And I so appreciate each of you. And John, Danicola, my main moderator, you were the man. And I so appreciate you. We're going to quadruple your salary, maybe 10x it. And New Hampshire Mountain Girl, I so appreciate you. And if anyone would like to do a super chat, $1, $5, whatever you can give, that would always be appreciated to help support the work. Another caller come in here live. Hello, caller. You're live on Leroy Truth Investigations live show. What's your name and what would you like to say?
Is this Leroy?
This is Leroy. Hey, what's up? What's your name?
This is Leroy Truth. Yeah, Leroy is the truth. So now you know it's the real Dub Wubs. How you going?
Dub, okay. I'm so happy. I was like disappointed. Like, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, there was a Dub Wubs total prank call. I'm thinking, oh my God. Dub Wubs seems solid in all of the, he's in every premiere. He's in all of mine. He's in just every auditor I see. And then it sounded like really mentally unstable. Like, oh my God, that can't be you. So I'm glad.
I might be mentally unstable, but that wasn't me.
Good. I'm so glad you called to clarify.
Come on, man. So yeah. So everybody's in the chat saying that wasn't the real me. People know me. That's all right. Easy knows me. Cass knows me. We do this. But what's up, man? So because the only reason why I'm even calling was because somebody was trying to do what they did. So I was like, no, and now I have to call.
I'm glad you did. You set the record straight. And when you have a live show, sometimes we're going to get some prank calls. And because of my vigilant watchers and viewers, they were able to set the record straight. So we can set the record straight here that unhinged, absolute maniac was not the actual Dub Wubs. So the truth reveals itself, not because of me, but because of you viewers and who knew him and got it out here. So, things like that matter. There's nothing little. Everything matters. So I'm so glad you called Dub Wubs.
No, I agree. I don't know who it was. There's some speculation. That's all good, but this is me. I'm straight from. I'm me. I'm not that. I just don't do that.
Good. Okay. Now I know, and now I know the real you because I didn't know before. So now I know. So I appreciate you calling.
Yeah, and then I sent you an email earlier, and it was just an email giving you my email. I don't know if you got it.
Send it again. I get so many emails every day, and it's easy for some to get lost. So send it again with giant capital letters in the subject line. But this is Dub Wubs.
Right. Yeah, this is the Dub Wubs for sure.
Awesome. All right, appreciate you. And onward, upward, and enjoy a great night, Dub Wubs.
All right. Enjoy.
All right.
Peace.
Peace out. And read what? And what does it say there? Your First Amendment right equals... it says there, and hold on, caller, we'll be right with you. It says your First Amendment right equals bullying government. How dare you speak to me... Oh, yeah. So your First Amendment right equals bullying of government. And that's what they like to do. They like to say we're bullying and harassing them when we're simply exercising not a constitutional right. It's a human right. The Constitution is supposed to protect it. That's what it is. And Scalzo, can you make Farlap a moderator? You know how to do it? And just like three little dots, make it a moderator. Farlap, I'm so happy you're here. Thank you. I want to make you an official moderator. And Farlap is way over Australia, New Zealand. I think New Zealand, right? And we have one more caller here, and you'll be the final caller of the evening. What's your name, and what would you like to say?
My name is JB. We're going to go with that. I have to protect my anonymity. I have to protect my identity.
Sure.
I'm calling from Illinois. I am a whistleblower. Just wanted to say, keep fighting. Keep fighting. Don't stop here. Don't let Cold Spring be the last place you guys put up this good fight. I'm fighting for my life currently right now. It's absolutely terrifying. I can't even help myself because of everything everything's been taken from me by crimes committed against me, and that all happened after receiving a gag order last year. So here I am living my life in danger and looking out for myself. So I just stumbled on you guys. I think what you're doing is awesome. Again, don't stop. And I think one of the ways we can fight this kind of corruption, which is actually what I'm fighting as well, against law enforcement a little bit, and large corporation here in the United States. But one of the ways we can fight this is by sacrificing a little bit of our strength, dropping that in as like a little seed in other the good people to resurrect their seed strength as well, you know, and grow so they can grow as well, because they've backed down, because they don't have a voice, because we're not stepping in and giving them that voice. We're not giving them their strength back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Well, listen, can email me if you would like to. LeroyTruth247@gmail.com, and we can connect offline. And I want to find out more about your story and see if I can help in any way whatsoever.
Is that in your details for the video?
Yeah. And if Mod, if John or Scalzo or both, anyone could post it, LeroyTruth247 in the chat. It's LeroyTruth247@gmail.com. And they're going to post it in the chat as well. So yeah, contact me directly and put there that you talked with me on air today, and I will give you a call tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Take care. Keep fighting.
Okay. Thank you. Right. Bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, final caller of the day. So I'm going to share a couple things to wrap things up today, and then I'll read all the super chats. And if you'd like to share a super chat, there's still time to do that. Always appreciate that. And again, many of these videos are not monetized. The lives, especially if there's a little F words someone puts in there. And we don't censor people on here. And so here's the thing. As Martin Luther King has said, the problem is not that we are outnumbered. The problem is that we are out and organized. And that's why I started the Army of Freedom. And it is free. It is free to join. It takes 10 seconds to join. If you could put that up on the screen too, thearmyofreedom.com. And take 10 seconds now, or as soon as this broadcast is over, we're going to wrap it up in 3 minutes here. Join thearmyofreedom.com, and I'm organizing. So each week we will focus on 2 political figures. A few calls won't make a difference. A few emails won't make a difference. A few social media posts won't make a difference. But 15, 20, 100, 500, 1,000, 10,000, specifically focusing each week on specific political figures, always peacefully. I do not condone any violence or threats of violence, ever. Always peacefully and professionally. I guarantee you, we will change the trajectory when it comes to politics in the United States of America. I'm connecting with other channels, big and small, asking them to also ask their subscribers and viewers to join the Army of Freedom. Because alone we will fall, united we will absolutely stand, and we will be demanding those political people do our bidding. And if they don't, we don't just say, oh, well, we tried. We have enough political clout, because there are probably 20 to 30 million Americans collectively who watch our videos, plus the people worldwide, all over the world, probably at least 50 million people. But just in America alone, 30 million maybe watch our videos. We come together, even 3% of 30 million. What is that? Scalzo, you have fast math? Well, remember, 3% of the population back in 1776 created and forged a nation. 3% of the population. That's it. If we have 30 million viewers collectively, and we'll say there's about, give or take, maybe 57 trolls, 30 million people, 10% would be 3 million, 1% would be 300,000. 900,000 people would be 3%. Say 1 million people. We have 1 million people who join the Army of Freedom, and all you do to create change, I know you got busy lives. It takes such a minimal amount of time. 2 phone calls a week, you'll be provided with phone numbers. 2 emails a week, you'll be provided with email addresses, as well as an email template. You can just copy and paste if you choose, or make your own, whatever you want. Also, bullet points for the phone call, and it'll have links to social media posts. So 2 phone calls a week, 2 emails a week, you send it to whoever we're focusing on, and 2 social media posts to change the trajectory of America. The politicians won't know what hit them because they're used to doing whatever they want. Oh, we want to give a few $100 billion to Ukraine. Okay, no one's paying attention, or if they do, we get a few outliers who get pissed off. Together, we will be unstoppable, and we will make America free again. So I want to read all the super chats here, and YouTube Turns gifted 5 Leroy Truth membership chats, and then they gifted another 5 membership chats. Thank you for that. And Raya Hoot, Serious Audits. I'm a huge fan, Mr. Leroy. Thank you so much. Torque Auditor, CIA, Brandon Mitchell. I love Brandon Mitchell. And CIA again, thank you so much. And Farlap, so generous. He gifted 5 memberships. Then he gifted another 5 memberships. Then he gifted another 5 memberships. I so appreciate you, Farlap. And lastly, and most importantly, I appreciate you, each of the viewers. But before that, I want to thank Scalzo Photo. He has done so much behind the scenes. He does so much. Man, you had that ready to go. And literally, he was like, I said, Scalzo. I didn't want to forget Scalzo. And he's the one who just put that up there. And he does so much behind the scenes and much for his expense. And if any of you would like to do a super chat for him, just say this is for Scalzo, and I will give him that money. And so if anyone wants to do a super chat for Scalzo, he does all this free. And he's super supportive, helpful for me, does work for Sean Long Island Audit as well. And I really appreciate his production and his friendship. And he's a good guy. And I appreciate each of you, the viewers. And let's grow this live stream every week. And live call-in show every Sunday. Let's grow it. Had a couple hundred today, 300, 500 next week, 1,000. Let's get it out there. And I want to hear from you, the voices of we the people. And going forward, the majority of these shows on Sunday nights are going to be call-ins. I'll have 5 to 10 minutes of a story. And then after that, you can call in about the story or about anything you want. How to create police reforms, ideas you have, your personal stories. And, well, actually, Scalzo said no 3-minute rule. Well, we have to keep them condensed so we can get more people there, but we're not going to censor anybody. Nope, no one's going to be dragged out of the room, and we're not going to censor anyone unless they use threats of violence. Then that's not acceptable anywhere. And so with that, I so appreciate you. And you can email me at LeroyTruth247@gmail.com. Put that up, Scalzo. And enjoy a great rest of your night. God bless you all. And together, we will make America free again. Join the Army of Truth, and I'll see you next time. Oh, and I'm going to leave the chat up here for a few minutes so that anyone wants to continue chatting a little bit, you can.